I wanted to talk a little bit about fabrics and how you choose what you might like to use. I think in this instance I've been through my wonderful fabric stash and chosen something that has quite a few colours in it already. There's a lovely little print that can be used. I can use this section, or the blue bits, or whatever bits I like. But let's start with a single fabric that you really treasure. Now, color selection is really important, and with slow stitching you can use new fabrics, old fabrics, fabrics that are reclaimed, you found from the op shop, just about anything, and so that's what I'd like to show you now. I've already been through my stash, and one of the important things I think is to look for colors that are already in it. So I found this one. You can see that. Quite like that. There are sections I could use that have got the dark colour and the lighter colours, but overall I think that fits in. Now I've chosen a little bit of this. That's perfect. That actually is very bright up against it, whereas this is a dull one, but that sort of brings a bit of life into it. Now I had another look at this. I thought, well, maybe I could use some of that, and you just keep bringing fabrics out and trying them. One thing I would like to discuss is looking at fabrics a little bit differently. Like, here is a fabric. Now this is an upholstery fabric with an embossed edge there, but look at it this side. It is a completely different color, so you've doubled up on some of your fabrics there. I really like that. I may even use part of that in this. I really don't know. The beauty about it, this particular craft, is that you can do what you like. You're making it up as you go. There is no pattern, and you are able to just flow. So I love a bit of writing. Isn't that lovely? We're all sort of in the same range there, but I would like to put a different sort of, more of a pop, and I've chosen a blue. And here's another one here. See? Now look at that. That is, well, too much really when you look at it. But this is another one, and if you turn it over, that actually matches in pretty well. I could use both if I felt like I wanted to. But, we'll choose as we go. Something darker, like that, something but darker. And I like this pale blue or aqua or something, so a little touch of that too to make it pretty. Another thing I would like, oh, here's a nice dark one. Look at that, lovely. So dark and light and neutral, ones that are busier and ones that that help colours blend together, like this one here. Well, that's what we're looking for overall. Now I've got this lovely piece of silk or taffeta. What I wanted to talk about here was how you can use it and you can get lovely frayed edges. Now this is the same with all of your materials. You may fray the edges, or you may be able to rip the edges, or just different things. And look at this. If it's on one side, it's one color thread that's left. We've got the warp and the weft happening here, and then on this side it's that goldy color. Now can you see how that really does stand up on some things as an edge? So I really do quite like that. Another thing that you might want to do is sometimes ruching it up like that, that kind of thing, or the other way, oops, sorry. Okay, a little more practice, Tracey. But that kind of thing like that, so that it would be a square in amongst it, with just a little bit more texture there. You see what I mean? It really does add something to have a little bit of texture as well. So we've discussed about looking for colors that match and colors that are you know, pleasing to the eye. That's your colors, you know, choose what you like. This one is a certain normalness now, shall we say, but I could change it with what I want to embellish with. I could have a lighter or a darker or brighter embellishments in there to really make it sing, or to calm it down if you think that it's too much. But you know, you just take and use the bits that you actually like. All right, next we're going to talk about placing your pieces, and we'll see how we go from there. Thank you. Hi, here I am back again, and I'm wanting to talk now about placing your pieces down, how we're going to do that, how we're going to manage. So first of all, let's look at the backing fabric. In this case, I'm just using a piece of calico. You might want to give some thought to what it is that you're making at the end. If it was a book, think of it like that, then that's your front cover. So you would plan that that's the bit that I want to be, you know, my focal area. And same, you wouldn't really want to have very much here, certainly nothing too heavy, or you know, a button in the middle of it, because that's going to be going around your spine. But I'm not planning on doing anything like that right now, so I don't really know what my plan is, to tell the truth, but that's the beauty of fabric collage and slow stitch. No plans. All right, so what I would look at is, you know, we had a look before at fabrics and what we might use and what we like, and you know, might add some more to it, might just sort of decide as I go, oh no, I don't like that kind of thing. So I'm going to start with this one here, this focal fabric that we were looking at, and I decided that it's already in squares, you know, and I could take some and, you know, do what I want. And I think that I'm gonna, for example, I'll take, oops, let me get back on camera, take one here. I'm just gonna do that for now. And I really like a sequence, and I would say I like that. I'm going to do that one there, up to that. Now you know what I mean. I will probably choose a few different from there, but you know, that's a good starting point. Wow, what is that suggestive of? That looks a little bit Japanese to me, with umbrellas, and you know, I really like it. So yes, we will cut more of that out, but in the meantime we'll just look at some of the others that we have already done. You know, here's my darker piece. Well, I might decide that that's too much, but you just start, and then you'll figure it out as you go. Did we like this? I don't really like the grey with it, I must admit. I do like to put a neutral in, but in this case the neutral would be more cream. But the blue, it could be. Certainly not that big. Maybe I just choose a bit of that and see if I want to use it. I can discard, because we're using scraps, you know, it really doesn't matter. This particular material wouldn't rip, so I'm happy to just cut, and we'll see how we go. And oh yeah, this, I love the fabric. I do love some of this, so just going to cut through there, yeah, and that, and I'm just going to start placing them. And when you do that, you suddenly get an idea. Oh yeah, okay, do I like you against that? I don't know. And you know, you get your pieces and you cut some out and you pop it down and you see how you feel. That's what we're going to do. See, this one's very large. It is my pop, my accent color. You know, it's sort of, yeah, a little bit of that there, but it's even brighter. But I like it, so I am going to do this. And maybe use it twice. As you can see, I'm not terribly straight. I don't really care, but you know, for those of you that do, let's have a look. Oh well, and I'm going to use the selvage. Who cares? Right, so, and, you know, it's made this more vibrant. I quite like that. What else did I have in my box of tricks? Oh yes, this one here that I said was one that could be a few different things. Let's see if it's a ripper. I hope so. So just going to give it a snip, and oh yes, delicious. All right, that's given it a lovely soft edge and a straight edge. Let's see if I can make it a little bit tidier there too. Yes. Okay, so now I have a lovely strip. You know, sometimes you think fabrics aren't going to work, and you know, I might decide, well, I want that darker bit. I'll have that, you know, because I like it. Oh, I like it there. You know, that kind of thing. And here's another. And there we go. I've used a few pieces from there. I may use more. Now I've got a darker one here. Yes, it works. You see, it needs, you don't want it too insipid. Let's see if I took those away. You know, it's okay. You know, it depends on the look you're going for, doesn't it? So that's what I mean. The choice is yours, what you do. I'm just going to cut this one because it's tiny and I don't have much of it, but I liked the darkness and the texture. You know, it's got a bit of colour there. I will apologise for the state of my nails. I'm somebody who dyes and gardens and all kinds of things, and I definitely don't manicure. Yeah, look at that. See, already, and you can leave gaps. You can leave gaps in there, and you'll cover it with stitching. You know, it's a work in progress, but we like it, and so that's what I do. And if I wanted this one, I quite like it. You know, I love the shine. I like that it gives you a little bit of shine. We might cut a piece out of that. And you know, I did like the fraying, so we'll do some fraying. Even it up a bit. And oh yes, there we go. I am what is called a fabraholic. I love fabric, which is why I have a vast collection. Can you see how beautifully that sits on top of something else with that little bit of fringing, and I think that's wonderful. All right, I'm going to stop right now and grab my glue stick because this is another important little part, and we're going to talk about after you've prepared your pieces and you know how you're going to tack them down. Okay, I've taken the time to gather a few more things together. I've gotten myself a plain old glue stick. Now you can use fabric glue. I only use a dab. It's just to hold it there whilst I'm stitching it down. If you use too much, it would end up way too stiff and difficult. Some pins, perhaps you'll use those instead to hold things down whilst you're going around, or some cotton and a needle here, and then I will be using that possibly for tacking. So I'm just saying there's three different ways there straight away that you can use, but I'm still at this phase. So what I wanted to say is, if you might want to use some lightweight pellin or wadding of some description, or a piece of felt, depends on what kind of thing you're after, but it does add a little extra to the it, you know, gives it a little bit of puff. When you're stitching, you'll get that little bit more texture. So let's start. All right, let's just make a decision and start. Now, I liked you, that you were important, and really I like a lot of it. And I did like this. It's rather a large piece, you know, and I may end up using it to overlap some other bit. But what I really do at this stage is I just try things in different ways to see how I like it. So I'll just keep placing things together. I can overlap. I can go, you know, no, I like you best, so you're going on top. But, you know, the little touch of blue is nice. I don't mind having the gaps, like I said. I don't feel that everything needs to be done. You were a bit iffy this, but I'm going to persevere and see if there's some place I like it. And it's not too bad there, you know. So that's a good start. I could go on from there. It's rather like a jigsaw, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun choosing and not getting too caught up in it. Remember, I loved this one because I loved the fraying, and you know, I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to have it so that it goes on something so that I can see it. You know, other people don't like that, and that's fine too. You just do what you like. See how it's lost? The black is lost on that, so I won't be putting it against that. I'll put it against something lighter. So I also did cut some more pieces. Long thin bit of that one. Here's some here if I need to get going. Now this pretty one. It's got a shine. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's got a pretty shine. You know, just keep trying different places and see what I end up with. Might put another little bit of it. I'll make it a different size this time. I'll make it a square. That sort of, that one there seemed to, you know, go between these two kind of colours so that it's not, I keep mucking around with my scissors, so it's not, it just helps it blend. Now this is the one, this is one of those beautiful Bali batiks, and you can do so much with them. I have ripped one edge there. I'm just going to sew this, cut this one, and I'm just going to use that leaf print because it's beautiful. You know? Yes. So I will keep doing things like that. Now, you might find it easier to just attach a few things as you go. You know, if you like it. If you don't, then you simply pick it up. If you use a glue stick, you can pick it up and peel it off and go again. It really doesn't stick it that well, but you know, it's just enough to hold it sometimes. So I'm going to do a few, and we'll work on how we hold things down and, you know, placement. So I just do that, and then that. I know what I was going to suggest to you. A wonderful idea is, you know, sometimes these things will fall off as you're trying to sew, and it's really frustrating because you liked it the way that it was. So what I would suggest is to grab your phone or whatever you've got and take a photo of it. You think to yourself, I like that. And even as you're going, you will think to yourself, maybe I liked the previous version better. You know, if you've got photographic, you know, evidence of it, you can refer back to it and say, oh, you know, it was better that way. It's really hard to remember once you, you know, get going. But, you know, we've decided, well, I've decided that I like that. I'm going to pop that there. That's going to sort of go next to it because it helped to blend the two. And I'm going to put a little dab on this one. Oops, there's a little bit too much of a dab. And I'm going to pop it over the top. I don't know what's going underneath it yet, but you know, just building it up. I suppose you know, it could be your look, but I wouldn't want to put all the brown ones in one spot, and I wouldn't want to put all the blue ones, you know. I like mixing it up, you know. I like adding that little accent of colour, and you can see that I've already sort of put an aqua here and an aqua there, sort of thing. That's what I mean. I'm balancing it out a bit, the kind of things that I like. And I've still got this one here that I haven't used either. Now I'm not going to put it there, it's kind of wasted. Yeah. Or because it's a dark one and we don't want it to overbear, perhaps I'll put 2 bits, you know. Oh, I like the frayed edge, you see. The frayed edges are good. I'll get them showing as much as I can. And, you know, this is nice with that. So, but I don't want everything in one line like this. So I am staggering it a bit, just so that it gives a little bit of, you know, yeah. It just makes it more dynamic, I think. That's my word. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now, you see, it really didn't stick very well. You might need a better glue stick than this one, but yeah, something like that. Something, yeah, that's sort of sticking there. At this stage, you know, I could just start to put some of them down. Don't know. Just depends on you. But just to give you an idea of what I like, and I like that rough edge over top of that, so that's going there. A lot of these things are just where they ended up, you know, where I just sort of threw them. Now, I don't want that one that way. I want that to be that direction because I like the writing to be, you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You want writing to be the right way up. So I'm going to put that there. It's starting to come together. And I'm going to put you there. Why not? I had a feeling you wanted to go there. So that's down. Have a glue for you. You know, it's very therapeutic. This is art. This is what artists do. They sort of look at something and they think, oh, a little bit more texture, a little bit more color. I like a little bit of this there. You know, you are being an artist. I still like it overlapping. I like to have that there. Yes, so that is where it's going. Okay. Now over, so I'm getting that fringing on the lighter colour fabric so it stands out, like I say. I could even bring it over a tiny bit and have a bit of a gap there, I don't mind. I quite like the calico background. Alright, so I'm going to keep going, but in the meantime I just sort of, we'll talk a little bit about this. We've got glue that we can do. That might not want to stay, you know. I've just pinned that and put the point underneath where it's, I'm not going to catch my thread on it all the time. You know, any that I think are going to, let's just see. Yeah, that's pretty good. See how it stayed there whilst just flipping back and mucking around with things. So yeah, it might just need a couple of pins. I think we've done a pretty good job, really. I do want to bring more of that in, and I will. Okay, let's just fast forward this bit. You're getting the idea. We're just going to keep trying different pieces in different places until we get it the way we like. We've glued some down, and in a little while we're going to start the tacking process, just to make sure we can pick it up in our hands and really have no problems with our embroidery, because it's all going to stay together. So I'm just going to take a bit of thread now, and I've made it a thread that matches, you know, blends in. It's really just my tacking thread at the moment. I'm going to do things that are more, grab my needle, that are going to be more decorative later. As I said, excuse the arthritic fingers and the lack of nails and nail polish. Okay, this is the knot my mother always showed me, and I always do it. So I around, and then I push that thumb against that finger. Can you see how it's twisting? And then I pull it to the end, and I have a knot. Now, when you get used to it, you just do that. And you know, there are other ways, certainly, or simply here, just do a couple of stitches. One, you know, pretend I don't have that knot. Two, and that is also a knot. Two on top of each other, and that is how you end off as well. So right here, because that's where my needle went in and I'm not too precious, I'm going to go, right, that's you, and whoops, now that's a little long, so I'm just going to, whoops, nearly went the wrong way. I'm just going to pull that up like that, so it's not so long. I might even have to get rid of some of that. You don't want it too long, because then you're knotting, getting knots, getting caught on things. Ooh, that's my life. All right, so here I'm just going to leave it on the table for now, and I'm just going to do some little ones like this. You know, this is your simple running stitch. Oh, it's, yeah. See, I'm already knotting it. Perfect. Oh, that's really good, isn't it? No, what have I done? No, this is where I persevere. What have you done, you little goose? Oh, perfect example of what not to do. Sometimes when you get a knot, if it's a little loop like that, you can put your needle in it. I don't know whether you're picking this up or I'm wasting my time here, but I don't know if it'll work. Sometimes I put the needle in the loop and I'll pull. Oh, sometimes my thread will break, or sometimes it takes it out. So okay, So I'm just going to do this, just a few here and there. I might decide I want, just see how, if I sewed a line now that is straight up like that, it's going to grab the edge of this one, the edge of that one, and the edge of this one here. So that's holding quite a few. I might just do that. This could be a tacking stitch that you may want to take out later, or you know, you might decide, oh, it doesn't matter, it's quite good. Now can you see how that's already held that one, that one, that one, just with that one line? So that's pretty good. And I think now I might go this direction and up that way. Now by all means, it doesn't need to be a straight stitch. I might decide instead, oops, that one needs to be glued, do that later. I might decide instead that I would prefer to do, you know, this kind of thing. So I'd probably just carry on with this thread that sort of fits. It doesn't really, you know, and I'd meander. I call it meandering. When I have no plan involved, I just go until I've used up my thread, and it just, wherever the mood takes me. See, I quite like that on there because I like that it takes this beige into that green, and that green goes back into that one. So it's a blending exercise. Really gotten it all sort of tacked down. You know, this one's here is only on that side. I don't really mind. It's just so that I feel free to pick it up. I've decided to pop another little piece of this fabric in because I like it. And I have left open gaps of the calico showing, but I have plans when you go through your stash of all of the wonderful things that you've probably got hidden away in your craft cupboard, and if not, go to the op shop. Really, the charity shops are fantastic. A lot of my stuff comes from there. Yep, happy enough with that. I'm going to take it through to the other side here and do 2 stitches, and that is my finishing off for that. Oops, didn't work. There we go. Right, I don't think I've got any stitches in that yet, but I'll remember where that one goes. All right, so here it is. Now what we're going to look at next, before we do our stitches, is getting some threads. These are stranded DMC threads. They come six strands to one length. I'll show you in a minute. But the colours, now I've chosen a dark colour. I could have gone dark brown, but I just liked to bring that in. And I've chosen a light one, you know, to brighten some areas up that I think might need it. All colours that were in it though. A plain one, you know, maybe. Oh look, and that, you know, we can bring some of the stitching and, you know, blends all of those disparate pieces pieces together. So I've also got white here if I need white, you know, but I'll work that out as I go. Now would be a good time to just, you know, have an idea of what you're going to do after you've done your stitching. We are going to be doing stitching in this little section, but what I wanted to talk about was other things that you can bring in. Okay, so I went looking through my yarn stash and I had this glorious thing. You know, these specialty yarns, oh my goodness, just check that out. I think it's almost a patch in itself, you know. I could use that. So I'm just going to use, just thinking about it now. And, you know, I might have used it to, yeah, I think that could be used in a lot of places, just that one little piece, because it has those colours in it. And here's another, and we could even bring in that green if we wanted to. Do you see what I mean? There's, you know, length of this, so much you could use. So I'm just getting it out to sort of keep in mind that I can do that. I can add a little bit more. I might want to couch some threads on. I was looking at this beautiful velour. It's a bit of a knot, and this is one that's definitely come out of the yarn box. All right, but no, that didn't work. Okay, so say I wanted to, you know, maybe I wanted to join all those areas together, and I might couch a piece on like that. See how it's sort of brought this green through and into the others. You know, that's a little thing to sort of think about, that you may, you know, whilst you're stitching, you don't need to fill it all. Maybe I'm going to put that there, or maybe I'm going to put some lace. So I have had a look at some of my laces. I just grabbed this out because it had blues and greens. I don't know, is it too much? This light blue one, you know, if it's only a little bit, maybe it'd be all right. I don't know. I do have this paler one, just a little flower of that perhaps, but let's cut one out because we might say to ourselves, yes, it's just got a tinge of blue, probably one that I dyed many years ago. I think this is actually an antique piece because I am a mad collector of things, and I'd want to put it, when I do put it, I'd want to put it on one where I will see it. I wouldn't want to cover this up. I just love it so much. It's a bit of a waste. But, you know, I'm just saying, that could be used. What else do I have? All sorts of goodies. Oh, now we're looking at some real antiques. Yeah, look at this. You know, this is so old, it's virtually falling apart, but that doesn't worry us. We're quite happy. Might just take a snippet of that so that I think about it. Now if I cut it like that, making it up as we go. Do you see what I mean? That really is quite delicious. I like that. And no, there will be all kinds of bits and pieces that I want to use, you know, guaranteed. There's a little bit of maybe. So that's what happens. You go through, you decide what you might want, you fill in the gaps, you have a grand old time. But we didn't look any further on this, did we? Maybe not. It might just be too much for me. I can't even decide a piece that I might like, so I'm just going to cut a bit like that. Got to be used for something. I think this is an old sample. There we go, $1. Must have got that from somewhere long ago. But you know, it's possible. Yes, it's definitely possible we could use that. I don't know yet, but I do. Yeah, just popping them down like that, I like it. So now there's also buttons and bits and bobs. I did have a look. I've got a wonderful old button tin here, and we have a selection of ones that are perfect. Some green perhaps, some pearl. You know, I have a wonderful collection that I collect also from the op shops. Oh, it's a green. How about that? You know, I might get one of them out. So I never know what's in here. So here we go, 50 cents for this little stash of beauties from the op shop. I'm going to open it up now and see what's inside, and just to get your creative juices flowing and think ahead about, oh yes, I might use that. I've got that wonderful button that would be just perfect, you know, and it is. So I also got these from a very cheap shop, and you know, little butterflies. They might come into it, you know. An assortment of buttons, laces, beautiful little pearl buttons. Oh yes, that would be lovely. All right, so we will get there. We will get there. But in the meantime, what we're going to do now is the stitching, and we'll learn a little bit about embroidery now, and you know, making it pretty.